Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to do myofascial release for your serratus anterior and pectoralis minor. If you watched my last video, you'll understand how releasing these muscles can help to improve our breathing mechanics. But you might also want to try this if you'd like to improve the posture of your shoulders. So let's talk about shoulder posture. It's very common to see people with rounded shoulders. And that can happen if the serratus anterior is short and tight. So it will cause the shoulder to protract, to be brought forwards like this. Now another element of rounded shoulders is anterior tilting of the scapula, which is the shoulder blade. And that will be caused by pec minor. So serratus anterior is protracting the shoulder, and then pec minor is anteriorly tilting the scapula. So all of this gives a rounded appearance of your shoulders. So releasing these muscles can help to improve the posture and also to relieve pain and tension in the top of the back. And the reason for that, I'll show you on my one-armed friend here, is you've got muscles in this part of your back called the rhomboids. And if your shoulders are protracted, then those rhomboids are being pulled into lengthened and quite tense positions. And that can cause tightness and possibly even pain for people with rounded shoulders. So let's start off with pec minor. Pec minor has an attachment point here, which is the coracoid process. And then it's got kind of 3 fingers that come off that and attach into ribs 3, 4, and 5. So its location is on this lateral or outside part of your pectoral region. So I'll show you what to do with a ball, and then I'll show you what to do without one. So you place the ball on this outer part of your pec, and then you find a corner of a wall like this, and nice and gently, nice and slowly allow your weight to sink into the ball. And if you've found a tight spot and it feels quite tight and possibly even sore there, you can be in this position for a couple of minutes, and that will really help to release the tension in the myofascia there. Now you can also do this using your fingers. So put your fingers together like this and just find the area there and just sink in and apply pressure. Now I would recommend doing this sitting down, and you can place your arm across your lap like this, and that will slacken off the tissues in this area, and that allows you to sink in even deeper, even further. You can see here how I can really get into the tissues there, and if you find a tight spot, you can just apply pressure onto there for a couple of minutes. So moving on to serratus anterior. It's a little bit more complicated, but I'll explain as I go along. I mentioned in my last video how serratus anterior kind of looks like a bunch of bananas coming out of your armpit. This is what I meant. So you can see what it looks like there. I hope you can see this clearly and there's no glare from the sun. And then I'll show you again on here. So it attaches onto the anterior surface of the scapula, so the front of the scapula, and then it branches out onto ribs 1 through 8. So it actually sits on the surfaces, directly on the surfaces of the ribs 1 through 8. So given its position and so on, it's very difficult to access a lot of this muscle. You really do need to see a qualified physical therapist or massage therapist. And some of the muscle is actually impossible to access altogether. But thankfully, there are easily accessed points, and I'm going to show you those. So you don't need a ball for this, you just need your hands. So place your hand just below the breast tissue, and then lift your hand up, and where your fingers end up here, you may end up on 2 ribs, or you may end up on just 1. Either way, you want to slide posteriorly, so towards the armpit there, and then you'll start to feel, if you apply sort of medium pressure, you'll start to feel a bit of soft tissue there, that's the serratus anterior. So you can do that on all the ribs around here. You just apply pressure and sink into the tissue nice and gently. If it feels particularly sensitive or painful, ease off a little bit, work within your pain threshold, and allow the pressure to release tension in the myofascia. Now, another element to this, whichever one of these ribs you're working on, you are applying medium pressure, and then you can pull the tissue forwards and then move your arm backwards like this. And that creates a really, really nice stretch for serratus anterior. This is called a pin and stretch. So again, you place your hand there, you slide your fingers up towards the back here, you find a tight spot on the surface of one of the ribs, and you can just apply pressure, or you can pull the tissue forwards like this and bring your arm back and create a stretch there. Now, you can also access the serratus anterior on the upper ribs here, not the first rib, but on the rest of them here. And how you can do that is by, imagine that you're kind of lifting the pec here. You're lifting it up and you're getting right underneath it. And then you can apply pressure posteriorly, so towards the back, and you'll feel a hard surface there, which is one of your ribs. Now, that on top of that rib, as we've established, is part of your serratus anterior. So again, you can just apply pressure or pull the tissue forwards a bit and bring your arm out. Now, all of this needs to be done within your pain threshold. Ribs are very sensitive and they are also easily injured. So please be careful. I will be back very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon.